Hi, I'm John, one of the pastors here at First Free. I'm excited to share with you a bit of an interview that I recently had with Aaron and Delaina Spence. They're our missionaries with Pioneer Bible Translators in Papua New Guinea. At the time of our interview, Aaron and Delaina are in Dallas, Texas, where they just welcomed their second baby. So Aaron and Delaina, congratulations and thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much, John, for this opportunity to get to share with you and with First Free. We really appreciate it.
Great. Well, let's dive right in. Talk to us a little bit about the Bible translation work that you're doing in Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, John, so we work with the Cayenne people who live in Madang province in Papua New Guinea, which is just a little bit north of Australia. And so we'll be spending our time between two different locations, Madang town and Cayenne village. So they're about, 6 hours apart by car. Mm-hmm. And so we'll be spending like a month or so in town and then going and spend like a month or two out in the village. And we'll just be going back and forth. And our first thing that we're going to be doing is language learning when we arrive. So we're going to go and learn their language using the national language that we have already learned. And then after our bosses and directors say that we've learned it well enough, then we'll begin to start the process of Bible translation.
Tell us a little bit more about the Cayenne people and how God led you to this group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Papua New Guinea has over 800 different language groups, and many of them do not have any scripture in their language. So we had a lot to choose from, and it was quite a process for us during our first term of praying and seeking God's will on which language group to work with. Thankfully, we had it narrowed down mostly to Madang province or the East Sepik. So we had only like 100 or so languages to choose from.
300-ish, but you know.
The community is really eager to have the Bible in their language. And we saw firsthand their willingness to actually be part of that process and to help us and work with us and give their time, not just to say, we want this, you do it for us, but to say, this is our project and we want to do this. Can you help us?
This is just an incredibly major accomplishment and a desire for these groups to have the scriptures in their own language. From their perspective, what does it mean for them when they're thinking about it and when they finally can foresee having scriptures in their language?
Yeah, it's really, really important. Because for them, their language is so much tied into their identity that it's just super meaningful when they're like, whoa, God can speak my language and understand my language. And it's just really, really tied to their core values. And do you want to add some more?
Yeah, well, also just the understanding that people can gain from hearing it in their first language instead of only in their second language, which is the national language, which they use with outsiders, but the Cayenne people never use the national language, which is called Melanesian Pidgin. They never use it with each other. So the language that they use to talk to their family members, their closest friends, their community is all Cayenne. And God knows their language, but they can't hear him speaking in their language yet because they don't have his word in Cayenne. And when they get that, it's going to be a very, very exciting day. And we've been to a few New Testament dedications in Papua New Guinea for some of these other language groups that have worked for years and years, sometimes 30 or 40 years.
This is really exciting and amazing, and gives us a lot to be praying for you about as you get ready to go back. So you've already shared some of the things we could be praying about, but what are other specific ways we can partner with you in prayer, first of all, as you go back and as you begin this work?
Yeah, so we are going to be purchasing a vehicle because there's actually a road that connects Cayenne to Madang town, which isn't always the case for a lot of villages in PNG. So for safety and travel, we're going to be doing lots of road tripping, and for transition for our kids, especially now, because we're doing lots of unexpected moving around. And also just then we're going to be moving back and forth between the village and town. And so they're going to have lots of transition in their lives. So be praying for them. And also for us for wisdom as parents, because this is our first time doing it. So
First and second.
First
all
and
at the
second.
same time.
Yep.
Cool.
So we could use lots of wisdom.
Great. And what about financial support, special needs that you have that our congregation could be aware of that maybe we could help out with?
Yeah, we, like Aaron had mentioned, we are raising support for a vehicle to purchase a four-wheel drive vehicle that can get us to and from the village. That's really reliable. And we'll also be looking towards building a house out in the village. So we're raising support for that as well. And those needs people can go to our giving page, pioneerbible.org/Aaron and Delaina Spence, and find opportunities for giving there. And those are our main financial needs right now. We also have a lot of supporters, and the church also supporting us on a monthly basis for our general ministry expenses.
Great. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We really, really appreciate partnering with you, and we're going to stay connected. Thank you for your newsletters. And if anyone who's watching at First Free doesn't get those, they can reach out to us or you guys, and we'll make sure that we get them on the list. We'll be praying with you and really excited about your growing family. Any clue, by the way, when you'll be able to go back?
We are unsure at this time. So lots of countries are still pretty close to travel. So hopefully later this year, but that's something you can also be praying about, wisdom for when would be a good time for us to return.
Our original plan was to go back to Papua New Guinea in June. And so it'll probably be a couple months after that now.
Wonderful. Well, thanks again, Aaron and Delaina. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.